Hi friends! I'm so excited to talk to you today about sprouting and how to sprout seeds. I'm super tickled to see you here today and talk to you about sprouting and taking these little seeds and growing them into homegrown sprouts that you can eat with any of your meals or in place of a salad or on top of a salad. They're really great in sandwiches. It's just a nice sweet little crunch. The reasons that I'm growing sprouts is twofold. First of all, because of their nutrition. They are just a mighty little thing packed into a tiny little package that's just full of vitamins and minerals. And one thing that I have a hard time with, and February is the hardest time for me, is what's called seasonal affective disorder. And that's a big, long, ridiculous name for something that most people would call the winter blues. So I really love deep winter when you've got Christmas, and then after that comes January, when we get all kinds of snow and there's so much you can do outside and the air is crisp and dry, and that part of winter is just kind of incredible and magical to me. And then it all starts to melt, and as the snow falls off the roof, then my mood kind of goes with it. So this is the time of year that I kind of struggle with that. It's usually darker because you don't have all that reflective light off of the snow. So this is when I have to really beef up my nutrition and really take care of my body and make sure that I'm getting everything I need. So that's why I started sprouting, was to do that. The second reason that I'm sprouting is that I can get all of that nutrition without running off to the grocery store and spending a whole bunch of money on all these really out of season fresh fruits and vegetables, which is a wonderful thing to do, but it's something that we're working to eat more seasonally and with what we can produce and grow here on our homestead. So I've been sprouting, which is terribly exciting because it's kind of like this, I just get so excited about it. It's like these little flavor bursts and that fresh, crisp, and crunch that you don't get very much of this time of year. So we've been sprinkling them on top of soups, and we just have it on the side of our plate as if it was a complete salad, and it's just been such a treat. So thankfully, because of all of that, this year has been so much better than last year or the year before. It's been a very good February for me, and I'm really happy that I started this back in January, and I've been able to take care of my body and its nutritional needs. Now the second reason is that it's very frugal. So you take these little seeds, and they come in these cute little packages you can get from the grocery store. I'll tell you more about where I buy mine. And you take just 2 tablespoons of these, put it into a jar, and next thing you know, you have a jar that's completely filled with sprouts. And it's just the most amazing thing to take something so little and to multiply your groceries. So here's some numbers on it. When you measure out 2 tablespoons to put in here of the seeds, it comes out right around just a little under an ounce, like 0.9 ounces. And it'll grow by weight up to 5 times that amount. And by volume, it'll be a tiny little bit at the bottom of this jar, just 2 tablespoons, which a quart jar is 64 tablespoons. And it'll come right up here and it'll fill up your jar. That's at least 25 to 30 times by volume that you're increasing your groceries there. So I wish that I could do that with everything. Put a cabbage and all of a sudden have 25 cabbages. That would be pretty great. Now, I've taken something that's already frugal by nature because it's 2 tablespoons of these, which comes out to, if you get these cute little packets, it costs about $1.15 or so for those 2 tablespoons, which will grow you a whole jar, which is more than those little packets at the grocery store, those little square cubes that you can get. Those are running about $5 in the store right now. So you're getting much more than that in here for just $1, $1.20 around in there. So that is really great and really frugal. But then I started thinking, I bet I could do this even cheaper. I went to the grocery store and found organic mung beans, and those grow bean sprouts. This 2-pound package will grow somewhere around 35 jars worth of sprouts for $4.35. And then somebody gifted us one of these, and it had lentils in it. And I went, wait, lentils? I didn't know you could sprout lentils. So I went to the grocery store again and picked up organic green lentils. And sure enough, they sprout just as well as the seeds that you buy at the fancy places. So I got 2 pounds there again. It was right around $3, $4 for 2 pounds. And the same thing. I'll get 35 jars of sprouts out of this. It's just incredible how cheap that is. But we've really been enjoying this mix. So I thought, well, let's see what I can do with this mix. So I spent some time on the internet, and you can go to, these are put up by Handy Pantry. You can go to Handy Pantry and you can buy it in these little 4-ounce packages, and that'll be about $1.15 a jar. So you can buy the 2.5-pound packages, and that'll save you over the little bags here by quite a lot. And then I saw that they have a 50-pound bag, and of course, me and my bulk shopping, and I would rather buy something once and not do it again for quite a while. I started looking at it, so that breaks down to 65 cents an ounce, so 65 cents a jar. But then I thought about it, what in the world, how long would that take me to go through 50 pounds of those seeds? That would make like 1,000 jars of sprouts. We can't eat 1,000 jars of sprouts in a year. That would really take some intense work. So I started poking around at the Handy Pantry. You can get them for fairly reasonable. It's still really worthwhile. You can get the 2.5-pound bag, you can get a 5-pound bucket. Both of those come in at a significant savings over buying the little packages. Or you can do what I'm going to do, and that's go to Azure Market and buy the sprout ingredient or different seeds separately. So what I did is I ordered alfalfa, radish, broccoli, mung beans, lentils. Well, I have the mung beans and lentils, and I got clover. So that's another one that I'm kind of excited to give a try. It's supposed to be real sweet and crunchy. So I'm going to mix all of those together with my lentils and my mung beans, and I'm going to make this salad mix. And it's going to come out right around $7 a pound, which is the same price as if I bought the great big 50-pound bag from Handy Pantry. So I was able to get those same savings, make it for right around 65 cents a jar, which is what, like 10 times cheaper than buying those little cubes at the grocery store. Not to mention, these are really fresh, and they won't, sometimes you get those ones at the grocery store and they've got a little slime on them and you wonder, oh, I don't know about this. So you rinse them and you pray for them and you hope that you live. You don't have to worry about all of that. You can just grow them fresh at home and feed your family nutritious greens, even all through the winter, for really inexpensively. Something that you can, I'm going to purchase, it comes out to 7 pounds for my mix. I'm going to purchase 7 pounds of seeds, and that will last me, I'm pretty sure, through the year. So that should be a one-time purchase. Buy it, mix it up, and we'll have amazingly fresh sprouts all year long. So now that you're all excited and you can't wait to sprout, let me show you exactly how you do it. It couldn't be easier. when I was at the grocery store the other day, I noticed they had these great big sprouting jars, and I went, oh my goodness, I wish that I could grow a gigantic jar of sprouts. That looks like fun. So then I stopped myself and said, wait a minute, Mel, you have a gigantic jar at home. Just grow sprouts in it. So for this one, it's 4 tablespoons. For these 1 quart, it's 2 tablespoons. What I have sitting here is the equivalent of 4 heads of lettuce. This is about a head of lettuce each, and this is about 2 heads of lettuce by the time it's all grown. And so I've got about $2.30 in this jar, and then I've got pennies in these 2 jars. It's nothing. 4 heads of organic lettuce at my grocery store right now would cost me $8. Huge, huge, huge savings here. And then when I get my seeds and I'm mixing my own, then this one right here is going to be about $1.30 for this 2 heads of lettuce instead of $4. And these ones, like I said, these are not specifically sprouting seeds, so these are crazy cheap. So fancy sprouting equipment is something you do not need. You can go buy fancy trays and you can buy fancy lids. I have one little lid that fits on these jars. It's green and it's got holes, and you just screw it on, and it's fairly convenient. But it costs $5 for that one little lid. What I'm doing instead is I'm taking this cheesecloth that you can get hardware store, the grocery store, costs a couple dollars for an entire sheet of it. Cut it. You're going to put it over this and put a rubber band on it. And that's all you need to do. My grandmother did it for years and years and years, and it works wonderfully. Another thing I love about the cheesecloth is that it's really breathable. That's something that's super important for your sprouts, is that they can breathe in there. The seeds are gonna soak in here for until tomorrow morning. We're at the end of the day today. So they'll soak overnight, and then what I'll do is just pour that water off and let it drain. Now, like I said a minute ago, it's really important that these can really have a lot of really good airflow and they drain really well. If you get anything up against this to where it can't drain or the air is not circulating, then you're going to end up with mold. So you can see I dumped that out. Hopefully you can see this here. But there's still all that water there, and you need to get all of that out. The way that I do that is, you can see my sink has a lip edge on all the way around it here. So I take it and I put it right up on that lip edge so that it's tilted, and that way the moisture can come out. But you don't want it flat. If you have it flat like that up against the surface, it's not going to breathe. So do that until the water drains out. And then what my grandma used to do is she would set it in her dish rack and let it drain out the rest of the way, and she usually kept it about at an angle like that, and that way the air could really circulate in there, and you don't get issues with mold that way. Tomorrow morning when I wake up, I will take these seeds that have soaked, and the beans and the lentils especially, they will have really expanded by morning. And I'll just dump all that water off of there, and I'll rinse them a couple times. Make sure you're using nice cool water for this. Once you've rinsed them, you're gonna set it aside and let it continue draining. You aren't gonna wanna fill that back up with water again. That was only for the first night. So you'll dump it off, rinse it, and then let them sit. When we finish these up, we usually eat them within a day or two of when they are grown to the point that we're ready for them. There's a couple things that you can do. You can rinse them and throw them in the fridge and use them slowly over the course of several days. Or if you are like, you know, we've got a family of 7, so for us to have a salad, we use a whole jar at a time. So I just grab the jar and throw it on the table and reheat it up, and that's the end of it. I've had a couple like this one where this is 2 days worth. So that time I will just put it on the table, we'll eat half of it, and then I just go back, I rinse it and stick it back there, and I don't have to bother with refrigeration. So these are a super great option for getting nutrition in your family during the winter months when you can't be outside. You know, right now we're still buried in snow. I can't do a cold frame or anything outside right now. So this has been a great option for us. If you'd like to see more of the day at a time progress of what it looks like to grow these sprouts, my son and I put together a fun little video series last year, and I will make sure it's linked in the description below, as well as a little iCard for you. So check that out if you want to see the day-to-day progression. Those ones we should have let go for about 5 days instead of just the 3. I found that on the mung beans and the lentils, they like to go 5 days, and the alfalfa sprouts, 3 to 4 is really good on those. Please let me know what questions you have, and I will try to get those answered either in a video or in the comments. And I just thank you guys so much for being here. Spending time with you guys and chatting with you is one of the highlights of my week. So thank you so much, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye!